Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has the capacity to service the need of housing delivery in all parts of Nigeria. Welcome to another edition of FMBN podcast here on 7FM TV, as it's proudly sponsored by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. My name is Patience Okai, your host. Let's quickly go on a commercial break. Stay with us.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amin.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
Welcome back to FMBN podcast here on 7FM TV, as it's proudly sponsored by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Now let's talk about the housing facts. These are frequently asked questions by Nigerians. So Nigerians want to know, can a person working with an NGO, that's a non-government organization, enroll into the NHF scheme and benefit from it, considering the contract nature of his or her employment? Here's the response.
Yes, the person must be a consistent NHF contributor for at least 6 months.
All right, that was the housing fact. So moving forward, here's the highlights of the official groundbreaking of the FMBN staff multi-purpose corporate society housing estate.
Nigeria is the largest population in Africa with over 200 million people. Many of these people live below poverty line and so cannot afford a roof over their head, nor a comfortable shelter. According to a statistic by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, the country is bedeviled by a huge housing deficit of about 28 million housing units. Consequently, according to the Bank of Industry, Nigeria will need 21 trillion to bridge the housing gap. As part of the effort to meet the need of providing affordable housing for Nigerians, FMBN took it to Aviation Village, Kuje, Abuja, close to Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport. It is the groundbreaking ceremony of the first FMBN Cooperative Society housing estate construction. This is to be performed by the chairman of the FMBN Board of Directors, Mr. Ayodeji Ariyo Ogbeleyi, represented by Sandra Ejezie. According to the management, the estate construction is a giant step to support and encourage cooperative societies, especially workers within the bank who have been contributors to the National Housing Fund scheme. The first phase of the construction is a 130-unit of 3-terrace duplex which has been under construction and will be completed next month. Top officials of the bank were in attendance to grace the occasion.
Project, like I just spoke with the developer. He said within the next few weeks for this phase one will be done in February, at the end of February. But then we're just looking at it as it's not being realistic, so we just pushed it to March. So I believe by March it will be done.
It's significant for the bank because the cooperative housing development loan is one of the products of the bank, and the staff of the bank are contributors to the National Housing Fund. So if we cannot show to people that our staff have benefited from being contributors and also being members of cooperatives, how do we convince other cooperatives outside that we can deliver on this type of product? So it's quite significant because it is a product that is just being taken in by most cooperatives. And also we want to see that the quality of work and quality of houses and the type of environment that is provided for the workers under this cooperative housing development scheme is a standard one, even though it is at affordable level, but you can also provide the right environment for people to live in.
I feel very delighted because this cooperative society has been in existence for more than 25 years, and we are doing this first project under my stewardship. So it's a thing of delight, and I feel very proud to be the president who will champion this cause.
Most importantly, because Federal Mortgage Bank have trusted us to make sure that we are the people who are contributing to solving these housing needs. And of course, I'm happy because we are not disappointing and we are keeping up to the words we said we will.
The development is a partnership between FMBN and Misha Homes Limited. From 7 TV, I am Austin Beatrice Sanam.
All right, an exclusive interview with the group head, finance and control, Mr. Ogumuyiwa Sunday, with 7FM TV correspondent Austin Sinam. Let's join the conversation.
Tell us about yourself and what you do in this group.
Thank you very much. My name is Sunday Ogumuyiwa. Okay. I'm a chartered accountant of over 3 decades.
Wow.
Basically, I am the group head finance and control of the bank.
The group head finance and control
that's
of the bank.
FinCon.
That's the Federal Mortgage Bank
of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes.
So how many units do you have in this group and what basically do they do?
Yes, basically we have 5 units in this group, comprising budget, control. We have fixed asset and insurance unit. We have operation units. We have NHF refund unit.
Okay.
And finally, we have financial reporting unit. Budget control unit is charged with the responsibility of preparing the budget of the bank in conjunction with the budget committee. In addition to that, that unit is equally charged with the responsibility of ensuring effective monitoring and performance of the budget. So what the unit does is that at the beginning, towards the end of the preceding year, a budget is being prepared in conjunction with the budget committee, in which every unit will be invited to submit their input. After the budget defense, of course, and after meeting with after the budget defense, the committee, which of course has secretariat in the budget control unit, we now take up the budget to the executive management committee for their input, approval, endorsement, after which the budget will now be sent to the Finance and General Purpose Committee, from there to the board for approval. As soon as the budget is approved from the board, then of course we now send it to National Assembly for their final approval. So having done that, the budget is good to go for the year. So the unit ensure that items that are not in the budget are returned and ensure that budgets are operated within the budget framework.
Okay.
So then the second unit, which of course is a fixed asset and insurance, just as the name implies, the unit is charged with the responsibility of maintaining the fixed asset register, the fixed asset position of the bank. Yeah, there is a fixed asset register that is there, in which is being updated periodically, and it maintains equally the fixed asset policy of the bank. This subunit equally we have insurance aspect of it. That insurance aspect is saddled with the responsibility of insuring the total asset of the bank. We have an insurance broker in which we interface, which serves as a middle person between us and our underwriter, and we ensure that all the bank assets are insured, both the physical asset and as well as the human resources aspect of it too. Okay. That is basically about that unit. Then we have operations. That operation unit is the unit that charged with the responsibility of ensuring payment The unit is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring the payment, that is the payment system. Under that unit, we have salaries and wages subunit, we have reconciliation unit, we have cash office, and the whole idea is that that's the engine room of the bank. Because every processes end up in operations. The operation ensure that money are paid, you understand, correct beneficiaries are paid, and they are paid to the account, after which they will upload and post. You understand? Yes. Then, of course, they are the one interfacing with the CBN in terms of our inflow statement. And they equally charge with the responsibility of the reconciliation of all both the inflow and outflow statement with the general ledger. Okay. Then we have a unit called financial reporting. That unit is charged with the responsibility of preparing the monthly reports to the CBN. Is equally charged with the responsibility of preparing the management quarterly management account. The unit maintains what I would call the general ledger of the bank. Is ensuring that the ledger is maintained and updated, and at the end of the month the report is generated and is being sent to CBN, and on the quarterly basis the management account is being prepared, presented to the management account is prepared, and having prepared it, we now present it to the board for the information and necessary action.
All right.
Then finally we have NHF refund unit.
Yes.
That unit, basically they are the one responsible for processing NHF refund.
Thank you very much, Ogumuyiwa Sunday, with 7FM TV correspondent. That was very detailed. Okay, let's quickly go on a commercial break. And when we come back, FMBN News this week.
Stop. One, two. Now, who grabbed? What? Stop! No, people. Don't go back our system.
Sorry, comrade.
Thank you.
As an up-to-date contributor of the National Housing Fund, I will advise you to just apply straight away for a mortgage loan. Yes, there are several types you could apply for. There is the rent to own a home loan. There is the cooperative loan. There are several of them. Instead of paying so much money to these Shylock landlords.
At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home.
Good to know you are still with us here on 7FM TV, and you are watching FMBN Podcast, proudly sponsored by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So let's bring you FMBN News this week. Many thanks for joining us on this week's edition. Do well to join us next week for another interesting and educative edition of FMBN Podcasts. And you can follow us on all our social media handles displayed on your screen. At Instagram, 7TV_NIG, Twitter, 7TV_NIG, Facebook, 7TV Nigeria, and of course, YouTube, 7FM-TV. You can also visit our website at www.7media.ng. And of course, do well to visit www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information. Till I come your way next week, my name is Patience Okai, your host. Stay blessed. Bye.